Good afternoon, this is Mike with PricePlow.com. It is Tuesday, January 14th, 2014, and I'd like to welcome you to the first episode of our product price drops and nutrition news video series. We have a lot of nutrition news to discuss, some stuff that's happened over the last couple of weeks, so let me just plow through some of these price drops that we've seen over the last couple of weeks as well, and some stuff that we found last night. First off, about a week ago before I started these video series, iForce's protein, 4 pounds of the chocolate truffle flavor for $22 is still alive. So if you are looking for protein, I've got mine in. It is absolutely delicious. Not exactly the cleanest profile, but it mixes smooth, tastes great. I do recommend it. What I'm seeing on this system is there's no reason to buy protein at retail cost anymore. There's always something that's popping up on our list. We caught another one last night as well. So in addition, yesterday, iForce Compete. I know I'm going to sound like an iForce still here too, because there's another product we're about to mention. I am a fan of the products. I'm not paid to say this stuff. Their stuff just keeps popping up all over our listings. So iForce Compete is their intro workout supplement. Their lemon drop flavor of this and of Hemavol, absolutely incredible. This is a great intro workout. CJ and I actually have a review coming up with some packets that we took of it back in October or so. I'm going to be posting that today as well. That has had a price drop yesterday that's still kicking. And then what we found last night, BPI Sports 1MR, the popular pre-workout supplement. There's 5 servings available for $1.95. Probably clearing the shelves because they have the new 1MR Vortex out there as well. So you can click on the link right here. I'll post to our blog, and you can see where some of these price drops are at, and click through and check them out. After that, yet another protein product, SNI's Pro Whey PW30. There is the 2 pounds of the cookies and cream flavor dropped down to $13.59. So it's got a similar profile to the protein here. Not exactly the cleanest, but even with a little bit of added sugar and stuff, there is still a ton of protein per the dollar. So if you're low on protein, there's a couple of deals that you can check out there. And then finally, we got some Midol Complete is on the site. That dropped 10%. And let me mention that when I talk about a price drop, I'm not talking about one store dropping their price a little bit. I'm talking about, we used to compare 20 stores here and we have this price, and then another price drop from one of these stores all the way down, beating all the other prices. I'm not just going to talk about small little price drops here. I'm going to mention when a new store is the best price on the web that we found on our system. And so closing it down, we also have 32 servings of the iForce Hemavol. Incredible stimulant-free pre-workout supplement, great for pumps. CJ and I did a review on that. Absolutely love it. That price is down at $26.10. So if you're thinking about cycling off stims, that might be a fun one to try, or just great for hardcore workouts. Okay, and now let's get on to the nutrition news stuff. There's been a lot of things that have gone down over the past couple of months since we dropped off YouTube that I'd like to talk about. Most importantly, let's talk about the protein window. Alan Aragon, who is a very well-respected member of the community, great researcher, posted a meta-analysis where he and his team analyzed and did statistical analysis on 43 different studies that have to do with protein timing and nutrient timing. And what they're looking for is, does it matter if you get enough protein in a certain window before and after your workout, or does it not matter? And a lot of people claim that there is a window of opportunity, or a protein window, that immediately after workout you must get XYZ grams of protein, otherwise your gains are going to be lost. Well, Aragon's team, looking at the statistics, looking at the quality studies that are out there, have determined that that's mostly bunk. It really doesn't matter so much when you get that protein. It matters that you just get it. And so what he did is he looked at 43 different studies, threw out the junk. We're talking about keeping only the studies and analyzing only the studies that are double-blinded, placebo-controlled, crossover kind of studies, throwing out the other ones, and then looking at the ones that had to do with nutrient timing. I'm not going to do total justice for this. I recommend that you read the whole thing. It's long, but it's very informative. And what I like is kind of the discussion on certain problems that we have in the research studies that have already been done, especially on nutrient timing. The first one is, and this is kind of, everyone knows this, a lot of these studies are done on untrained subjects. And untrained subjects, no matter what, kind of almost no matter what they eat to a degree, are going to get some form of beginner gains. They're going to respond differently than someone who's very well trained, such as CJ Woodruff, who is a bodybuilder that I'm always working out with here on the videos. versus someone who's never done training at all. That person who's never done training at all is gonna, is going to build muscle and get stronger a lot easier than CJ is. There is kind of a window, a ceiling for someone who's a trained subject. So you have to watch out for those studies. Second off, a lot of the studies that were performed regarding protein timing, where they had one group of subjects getting protein, right before, right after their workout, and then one group of subjects getting no protein before and after their workout. There's a big problem on the controlling of those studies, and Aragon goes on to write about this, is that the subjects who were getting their protein before and after their workouts were also in general getting more protein throughout the day than the subjects who weren't getting it during that window. And that's not a well-controlled study. What we want to know is, will a person who is trained, who is getting, who is, let's say, my size, 6 feet tall, 190, 195 pounds, I want them to be getting 200 grams of protein. I don't care when, I don't care where, just get it. And a lot of the studies don't really control that. And so those studies also created trouble for Aragon's team, and he goes on to discuss that. When you do all the stats and all the analysis and all the stuff that's way over our heads, it turns out that it does not matter when you get that protein. Just get it in. And to me, it kind of makes sense to a degree. He does propose that there is probably some sort of anabolic window. Every 4 to 6 hours would be a smart play. In an earlier study he had a year ago, 90 minutes before, 90 minutes after getting some protein after a 60-minute workout is typically a safe play. But I think the overall conclusion here is that you shouldn't let anyone, someone like myself included, some Joe Schmo on XYZ company from get-fast-6-pack.org saying, oh, you need to have this product 20 minutes after your workout or you're going to lose all those gains. That's a bunch of rubbish. Just get your protein in. And it makes sense. Go talk to the experienced older big guys at the gym who have just been pounding at it year after year. Do you think they really care about, I need to get 22.2 grams of dextrose-based carbohydrates mixed in with my 38.6 grams of hydrolyzed whey protein 14 minutes exactly after my workout? No! These guys, they eat protein. They eat steak and eggs and steak and potatoes and tuna and yams and more potatoes and more steak. They are eaters. And chicken breasts. Do they like whey protein? Yeah, a lot of them do. A lot of them don't. Some of those big guys, they also do some other stuff on the side we don't need to talk about. But the fact is, they get their protein. They're not worrying about, I need this or that right away after a workout. No, they just go and eat. And they eat effectively, they eat big, and they eat consistently. And consistency, speaking from my personal experience, is really my biggest problem. On the weekends, it's kind of where I slough off, and I always have. And it's like, at my size, I want to get 200 grams of protein per day. It is a bit of a chore. The protein shakes do make that easier. You shouldn't rely on them. I like to eat all sorts of stuff. But on the weekends, I always seem to kind of slack off. When you come in on the gym on Monday, slightly flat, it's an over and over roller coaster. So it's really about consistency. It's about proper supplementation. Don't have to get into all the hype of all this stuff. And it's about consistency and bulk cooking, really. So anyway, click the links, read the study. If you want CJ and I to do a video and really analyze this stuff, I think it's great. I sent Alan an email, and I've talked about it enough for now. So I think it's fascinating stuff because the research states a lot of things that are contradictory to what all these companies will sell you. So that's that. Okay, so getting back to some other topics here. Speaking of the supplement companies, one company that's been throwing it down lately is PES, Physique Enhancing Science. They got a couple new products coming out. One in the aromatase inhibitor Erase Pro, and another one in the GDA or glucose disposal agent Anabeta Elite. So you can tell if you have the new product for those. Erase Pro is kind of knocked off the market. The FDA sent some nasty grams regarding the ingredient arimistane. And so the new product has Avieta-8-11-13-trian-18-OIC acid, Borhavia diffusa root extract, and Uncaria tomentosa bark extract. That's what's in the new Erase Pro. I've done no research about these, but talk to PES if you're interested. And then Anabeta Elite, that one's going to have Euthyrococcus centicosus root. So Anabeta Elite's had some controversy in the past. Very hot kind of anabolic. that was very popular for a while, kind of dwindled down, but they're re-releasing the new Anabeta Elite, and it looks promising from what I've heard. Okay, let's get back to the geek stuff, my favorite. Fat loss study on EGCg. Okay, so green tea extract has a catechin known as EGCg. There's a longer term for that I'm not going to bother trying to pronounce here. And a new study was done, proper study, double-blinded, placebo-controlled, regarding resveratrol, this green tea extract EGCg, and then soy isoflavones. And what they found is the subject took 282 milligrams per day of EGCg, which is the green tea extract catechin, 200 milligrams of resveratrol, and then some also took placebos, of course, and some also had 85 milligrams of soy isoflavones each day. This is a short-term, 3-day study on fat burn, on energy expenditure. Really, yeah, it was done on energy expenditure and on metabolic flexibility. It turns out that, in short, you do have a higher energy expenditure when you use these green tea extracts combined with resveratrol. So there is a lot of marketing hype on green tea extract, a lot of marketing hype, way too much internet marketing fluff on resveratrol. The good news is that it works, and the even better news is that these products are relatively very cheap on our site. You just got to watch out for all the crazy $60 a month internet marketing scams that I'm not a very big fan of. Now here's the interesting thing though. In this study, and you can click the link to see this study, when soy isoflavones were added in at 80 milligrams per day, the metabolic flexibility in women actually went down. A lot of women take soy isoflavones. It's actually limiting their metabolic flexibility, according to the study. And it's a short-term 3-day study. And then finally, ergo-log.com posted a new entry titled, "There's something fishy about acacia rigidula supplements." And they took a look at a lab report that was done on 21 different supplements containing acacia rigidula. We don't know which one, so right off the bat, don't know, not yet at least. And they took a look at the natural PEA profile of a phenylethylamine based profile of all the analogs of PEA in the acacia plant, compared them versus the ones in the supplements, and notice that things aren't exactly lining up. There's all sorts of different PEA analogs in the acacia plant, but there's some things that are in these supplements that aren't in the plant, and there's some things that they would expect to be in the supplements that are in the plant that aren't in there. So I think what they're insinuating is that it's possible that some supplements are not really using acacia rigidula extract. They're really just using synthetic PEA and spiking the products with that. So be on the lookout for that news coming a little bit more down the pipe. We really don't have much information, but if your product contains acacia rigidula, maybe you want to just email the manufacturer and ask them, hey, is this real acacia extract, or are you just doping it with some PEA? The reason it's important is because some of these analogs are eerily similar to amphetamine. So the FDA is aware of this, as ErgoLog explains, and there might be more information later. Anyway, that was a long one. I'm probably going to do smaller, itty-bittier pieces of news with each product price drops each day to make this a little bit easier. But thank you for sticking around if you're still here. Mike with PricePlow.com. You can check all the links throughout this video, and we'll be back with more price drops in the future. Thanks for watching, and click on the subscribe link so you can hit us up on any of these social media outlets. Thanks.